Thank you very much.
We were talking about the Australian Idol. American Idol was huge in the States.
It's huge everywhere. Latin America and Europe and 8 places in Asia as well.
Do you think is it a reasonable way of discovering true talent, those sort of talent shows?
Well, you know what? Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have the talents and you don't have the tools or the connections
Do you
for you
remember
to show the talent, why not?
at that age, like at 17 or something, if a judge told you, hey, you're never going to make it, you're not good, how would you react? Because it's great seeing the kids go, well, stuff you, I'm going to do it. How would you have done it? What would you have said?
It could be a little tough for the ego, right?
Yeah.
At a young age. Well, you know what? Who cares? That has to be the attitude. You know?
Yeah.
I guess it's you have to be very intense with
But the kids these days are doing it. They're fighting back.
Exactly,
They're
that's the
going straight
idea.
back at the judges.
I guess it's in the generation. You know what I mean? Because before, I don't know, it would have been kind of tough. I think it's all about being stubborn and believing in yourself and not letting
It's an interesting point because one of the things that a lot of the kids who obviously are auditioning out there, reading some of the magazines, some of them are saying, oh no, it's not about image, or it's just about talent. But I don't believe that. It's much more than being able to just sing and dance. But in your opinion, what is it that gives someone that X factor? It's hard to put your finger on, but if there were characteristics or something that you could say that's the difference between a star and a good singer, what is it?
I guess it's this is a very hard question to answer.
You've only got 3 seconds.
It's all about daring and just you could be the most amazing singer, but if you don't communicate with your voice, who cares? It's about. Look at Bruce Springsteen. He's an outstanding entertainer, and he's sold millions and millions. He doesn't have the best voice, but he communicates with what he does, and I think that's what matters nowadays.
I'm interested in your case. I was just going to say, I've been banging on with these guys for years about these days you've got to start young. Often the people that show their passion, and reading through your background is you were like a child star.
Right.
You were?
Well, I started when I was 6 doing TV commercials, and then at the age of 12, I was part of a musical band.
Menudo?
Menudo, yeah.
We've got a little bit of this here for those who don't know what we're talking about.
Oh my God, let's hear it, God.
Look for the young gentleman in pink.
Look at the one. Check it out. It was a beautiful experience. If I was born again, I would do it all over again. I think that a band like that, when we're talking about a boy band, gave me the opportunity, first of all, to be in front of the camera, to be on stage, to have a lot of responsibilities. Yet I was sharing that responsibility with 5 other guys, and I remember the discipline that I gained out of this band is definitely what who am I today.
Speaking of which, could you get a 4-shot here?
If that's not the sexiest boy band,
Give us a guy. Come on, girls. One autograph. Easy, one by one.
I'll do all the singing. You guys do the dancing, all right?
I think I know who the lead singer is, man.
Was that in Puerto Rico? Where was that?
That was in Los Angeles.
Right.
This band was very successful in Latin America, and then in Asia, it was a big phenomenon with Menudo, like the Philippines, Thailand, and Singapore, and in Europe, it wasn't that big. But for example, in Brazil, we did a concert where the smallest show was 90,000 people.
And you were 12. Well, how do you?
It was kind of weird because one day I'm riding my bike at home and all of a sudden I jump on an airplane. I rehearse all the dancing steps and then I'm in front of a camera or in press conference doing. So one thing that I remember is that we were loved in a very positive way. We were well taken care of. There were people surrounding us all the time that were very optimistic and caretakers. So it was nice.
And people who are child stars often go hideously off the rails. That didn't happen to you. How did you avoid that fate?
Well, also adults go off the rails.
We're doing our best.
Fame can be very dangerous if you want to describe it that way. It's all the glamour and all the fantasy that is created around a person.
But it feels like in the last 2 years you kind of took a sabbatical.
I did. I really needed it. I wanted to. Beautiful years. Working on that crossover into English language was beautiful. It was a lot of work though, and in order for me to to find my balance, I needed to step aside, step away from the spotlight for a little while.
And you found that in India, is that right? Or
Because I went to India. I've been going to India for since 1996 now, at least twice a year, just because I met my guru and I started practicing yoga and everything over there. But I also opened an orphanage. I didn't open an orphanage. I became part of a foundation. That our mission is to rescue girls from the streets. So I would go to India all the time to be part of this, because I think it's very fulfilling.
It really sounds like you're going off the rails there.
To rescue girls from the streets. Right? That's about it.
And that was
a good way of taking what I said.
And that was a total break from music during that period?
Well, I didn't stop working. I built this recording studio in my house, and I recorded 2 albums, one in Spanish, which is the one I'm releasing at the moment, and another one in English, which we'll be releasing
You
in
did
January.
some gigs, though, didn't it? Did you do the Queen Jubilee?
That's
Which
right.
at Buckingham
That's right. I
Palace?
was invited to that birthday.
Tell me,
party.
please, you didn't do She Bangs. At the Queen's Jubilee. It has a different connotation here.
Well, let me tell you, I did.
And it went off.
and then Living La Vida Loca, and I said, she's leaving La Vida Loca. Oops, I didn't say that. Sorry.
Just on that, we were disappointed with the last song choice for the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
We want to get La Vida Loca back.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next one. I'm working on the next one.
But that's the thing. It's in a strange way. I feel like I've already met you. I went to the 98 World Cup in France, and I swear I went to our 20 games. Everybody sang your song all the time. Everybody, 80,000 people, 40,000 people, 50,000 people. It was unbelievable. No one ever said, "Geez, I'm sick of this song." Everyone just kept doing it the whole time. It was unbelievable.
And I love it. And
Did you go? Did you go?
I was there. I performed in the final ceremony.
Okay.
And there was a little guy performing alone in the middle of the stadium. That was me.
Did you see me? I was there in the crowd. I was waving.
Oh, okay.
I was doing this.
And today people are singing it chanting it in the stadium. Yeah. Still,
We need it.
you know.
We want it back for
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm working on the new one.
Another side to your acting career was you've done various soap operas. A Mexican soap opera called, if I get this correct,
Alcanzar
That'll be the one.
Alcanzar una estrella, which it was to reach a star. Once again, we go back to finding ways to become part of the spotlight. Now, this is a fantasy. It was a soap opera.
Here's a little taste from this fine.
Oh my God! You know, I'm gonna be really honest.
That looks like
I mean,
the start of a
we're
porno. I've seen that.
How dramatic it was, right? It was like, yeah, I love you. You know, it was like, I'm still working on my acting. I will go back to acting once in a
I've got
while.
a quick question to ask. In this country, our awards are called the Logies and whatever. You won a
performed.
Geraldo.
That's
Is that
right.
true? Who was Geraldo named after? They were the Mexican. I'm told they're the.
I have no idea. The Geraldo is like the equivalent of the Academy Award in Mexico, and now it's weird because I don't even know it exists anymore. It's like time ago.
Maybe.
But you know what? You know, once again, recognition is very important. I worked as an actor not only in soap operas but also I did theater in Mexico, and then after that I went to New York and I did Broadway, and it's beautiful just to be able to sing, act, and dance on stage with a very difficult audience in front of you every night is something that makes you stronger, and I would definitely do that again. I would
Can
go
I
back
ask
to
you,
that.
what are you bad at? I mean, we all know what you're great at, which is the singing, dancing, acting. But are you a terrible cook, or you're messy? Or what are you really dreadful at? Rollerblading, piercing. What do you just? What is the one thing that you've tried and you just can't get?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you. 'Cause then let me see. I'm
PlayStation.
a really bad PlayStation and
River dancing.
river dancing. Never tried it. Never will.
Big in Mexico.
Never tried it. Yeah.
Ricky, you've inspired so many people. In fact, we're doing Australian Idol. There was someone auditioned on Sunday night. The show started here in Australia. I don't know whether you saw this young chap, but I think you've had
She
something.
bang, talk to me, tell me your name, you put me up like a super saint. She bang,
Well, you know what?
Just give it a go.
I would vote for him.
You can't get.
You know why? Because he dared to do, to act ridiculous.
He did.
And it takes a lot of to
Yep.
I
He
think-
just
I
do
think he
that,
has
off.
points.
He pulled it
So
off.
good for you, my friend.
The,
Good job.
points.
the current album, the Spanish album you mentioned, is called Almas del Silencio.
That's right.
Silence.
Souls of Silence.
Souls of Silence.
Yeah.
Fastest selling Spanish album on the Billboard charts. Would you please thank Mr. Ricky Martin for joining us tonight?